Hello guys, so we're here to talk about the first Grand Slam of the year, the Australian Open 2023 that's kicking off next week, and there have been some interesting news happening around the tennis world, starting off with Carlos Alcaraz, who is the youngest world number one at the moment on the men's side, having won the US Open last year, winning his final against Casper Ruud and then becoming the number one. He had to struggle through some bad injuries, having a stomach muscle pull, because of which he was not able to compete in the ATP finals, which is obviously considered one of the biggest events throughout the whole year. Then missing out on the Davis Cup finals where he wasn't able to play for Spain. And obviously we know that playing for your country and, playing matches and winning matches for your country is a big honor. But unfortunately, because of his injuries, he was not able to compete in that too. And now, unfortunately, the first Grand Slam of the year, which is obviously a crucial event. It's an opening event. It's a confidence booster event for any player at the start of the season. He's had to miss that as well because of his injury, which he had also in his off-season training, where he mentioned about his leg injury. And that's been causing him problems. And of course, tennis being a very physical and stressful game, you can expect these type of things when players are competing and giving their best on the court and doing what they can to win on the tennis court. And talking about Emma Raducanu, who had to retire from a very bad ankle injury when she was 5-all against Azarenka at the CBS Classic Open. She was playing some high-level tennis, some great rallies from the baseline, but unfortunately that ankle injury halted her game, and it halted obviously her performance, and she had to withdraw not just from the CBS Classic Open match, but also it's put her and her team in a huge doubt whether she'll be able to compete at the Australian Open 2023, which is the opening Grand Slam of the year. And obviously we know that Emma is has been a very upcoming tennis sensation, who's had to deal with so much off the court, not just on the court, but off the court, the additional pressure that's been on her, because she's been expected to win, as she's done so well at a young age, being able to win the US Open 2021. All that pressure on her shoulders hasn't been easy. And obviously in sports, we know that expectation is the hardest thing. And to sometimes deal with that, players can really suffer badly. And along with that, additionally, when these type of things happen, where you get injured and you're not able to play your best because of physical reasons as well, then that can be something very hard to deal with. So we wish Emma all the very best, and we hope that she recovers soon and she's able to play the Australian Open 2023. And last but not least, talking about the Aussie hope, Nick Kyrgios, who's had to withdraw from the United Cup. Obviously a very new event that has been added to the tennis calendar, where all the ATP and WTA players gather together to play for their country. Nick hasn't been able to compete in that following an ankle injury. And he's wanting to do that in order to keep himself fit, best possibly fit for the Australian Open 2023, which is obviously a major event that he wants to compete in due to many reasons, not just Australian Open being the opening Grand Slam event of the year, but also because Nick is Aussie. And he has also the level of expectation from the Australian crowd, having such a big talent at a young age. We know that he's had temperamental issues. He still has a lot of emotional turmoil to deal with on the tennis court, but obviously due to these factors, I'm sure he wouldn't want to miss the Australian Open, because everyone's looking to see how he does at not just the Australian Open, but I think almost every Grand Slam that he competes at, because of I think the entertainment that he brings on the tennis court. And obviously being a tennis player and a tennis fan myself, I would want Nick Kyrgios to compete at the Australian Open and see how he deals with the pressure, and how he's able to do this year, obviously being the main Aussie to be the favorite to win the title. And there are rumors that he might retire after winning the Australian Open, but let's see, you never know. Tennis is a very unpredictable sport, and obviously you don't know. Any player can come back anytime. It all depends on the individual motivation, temperament, and obviously the fire that every player brings into the game. So guys, I want to know your views about the Australian Open 2023, and I want you to guess which players you think are going to go deeper into this tournament and who you think are going to be the winners both on the men and the women's side for the opening Grand Slam of the year, Australian Open 2023. Leave your comments in the comment section below and let me know what your views are.